Yay, we are live. 1 hour early on European time, but in North America we're all set. Because
Yes, that was a little confusing.
there are 2 weeks that are really confusing for me every spring and every autumn. It's when we jump from summertime to winter or the other way around, and the continents do not correspond.
No.
It's so confusing.
Just for
So
2 weeks.
yes, 2 weeks. 2 weeks every 6 months. So, Kim Speed, brand strategist and business mentor. We are actually getting kind of used to doing these lives now, right? We've done them
Yes,
before, yes. So, you have something exciting coming up. Could you please tell me what that is?
I would love to, Monica. So today, starting today, I have a challenge and it's called the 5-day business idea Kickstarter. And this is a challenge and it is perfect for those people that have been successful employees for a very long period of time, but they're ready to jump that corporate ship and start something of their own. And they would love to be successful entrepreneurs. But
Mhm.
maybe it's the fear of actually starting, or that they have started and they're just feeling overwhelmed and stressed out, and they need a little help getting their idea off the ground. So, whether you have no ideas, but you have a desire to become an entrepreneur, or
Mhm.
whether you have um, a lot of ideas and can't figure out how to narrow it down to which you should move forward with, or maybe you have an idea right now and you just need to validate whether it's the right idea.
Yeah.
So this is the challenge that's going to help you figure all of that out, to figure out how to take the knowledge, skills, and talents that you already have and turn that into a business that fits into your life and isn't like those crazy tech startups where you're working 80 or 100 hours a week. It's going to fit your lifestyle. It's going to fit your passions, and what you want to be doing at this point in your life.
Yeah. And I think that is really like crucial, having that alignment.
Yeah.
Uh, because I know I struggled so hard with that for several years,
Yeah.
right? Like what I had this idea, and the tools that I focused, made the same mistake focusing on tools instead of results, right? And no one knew the tools, so I kind of sounded like a lunatic talking about them.
Yeah, yeah. It's so true. There's so many people out there that are, you know, I'm going to have a business, or I want a business, and I need to have like a funnel. I need to have SEO and a website and all this stuff that's just right now, that's just stuff that's not going to serve you until you've figured out what you're doing and who you're doing it for.
Yeah, and that, like, the problem that you solve, right? Because
Exactly.
I remember in the beginning, people were like, I would talk about my business, and people would just like their eyes would just glaze over, and then they would start moving backwards.
Oh, I have been there.
And it was like, oh, that did not work. So
No.
we need mentoring, we need coaching, we need help in that stage of our business, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so true. And if I could just share with you a little bit of the reason I'm so passionate about this
Mhm.
is 12 years ago, in our last big major recession, I was at a company and we lost a huge client, and a lot of us lost our jobs. And I was one of those people. So I found myself without employment. And, you know, I just assumed at that point that I was going to, gather my things and put my resume together and start networking and getting out there and finding another job, because that's what you do. I never ever thought I'd be an entrepreneur. It was not even part of my vocabulary. An entrepreneur to me was somebody that started big corporations, and as I said, tech startups, like they were those other people. It wasn't until I actually spent some time at home and I had this epiphany moment. And that was, I was able to, I walked to school to pick up my daughter, and she came running out of the school as the bell rang, and she came running out and she was all excited and talk, 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 and her friends and everybody, it was all exciting. And then she put her bag down near me and she was going to run off to the playground. And then she stopped for a minute and she put her arms around my legs and she gave me this big hug and she looked up at me and she said, I love when you're here to pick me up.
Yeah.
And that was one of those pivotal moments when I knew, oh my gosh, these are the things that I live for. And I have been missing all of them because I have been working in a job where I rush off in the morning and then I rush home at night and I get like a few minutes with my kids during the day. And I was missing all these simple little glorious moments. And I knew something had to change. And
Yeah.
that's when I jumped in and decided that I was going to do something different. I wasn't going to go and work in the corporate world anymore. That
Wow.
was then, and this is now. That was fun, but Monica, I didn't have a plan. I didn't have an idea of what I should be doing. I just did it, and there was a lot of times that I was really treading water and, you know, hardly breathing.
No, I know the pain. I know the pain. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, it took a while for me to get it together. You know, I was able to, you know, make a little bit of money, but it was so up and down, and it wasn't consistent enough for me to think, "Oh, I can do this forever." And I knew if I didn't figure it out, I was going to have to actually go back and get that job, and now I really didn't want it. And so I reached out and I started to connect with a community of people that were doing similar things. And I reached out to advisors and mentors, and I got a coach, and I started educating myself and learning how to run a business. And I realized because I thought, oh, I've worked in corporate, I know all this stuff. I knew so little, and I needed to learn so much. And if I hadn't have done that, I would be back in the corporate world myself.
Right. Yeah. Because that, well, the thing is, you don't know what you don't know, right?
No.
And I think that is like the big, like, mind blowing thing for all of us when we start our business, coming from being like from corporate, being an employee, and then understanding how much there is to learn and
Yeah,
how much that can go wrong if you start like in the wrong end, or if you don't get it right, right? And we
exactly.
we don't get it right in the
No,
start.
no, we don't get it right.
Yeah.
No, and you need help. And it's okay to put up the white flag and say, please help me. Um,
Yes.
if you really want to be successful at it, you need to learn from other people.
Yeah. And Angela says, good stuff. True, Angela. She has done the same journey, so she
Yes.
knows. Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot of us, and there are a lot of us, but like for every recession, every crisis, more people do that journey. And I know there are like thousands and thousands of people doing that journey right now.
Hmm.
And that is why I'm so happy that you are doing this 5-day challenge. You know your stuff, you've made the journey yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, guys, just like I always say, be kind and compassionate with yourself. So, stop beating yourself up. This is free. And I just realized I've made a big mistake. I don't have the link handy. Do you, Kim?
Oh, you know what? Let me get it for
Yes.
us.
It's like,
Ah,
we're live. I need to have the link so that we can
okay.
post.
You know
Yeah.
what? Let me just look for this.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one
Yeah.
second.
And Angela says, I can relate so much. I think we can all
Ah,
relate to this.
yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Anyone who's starting journey, who's been on the journey, shorter or longer period of time, we've all felt that pain, like, and that sensation of like, I get that there's something I'm not getting,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is just this horrible like churning in your stomach, like, ugh. You know?
Yeah. Oh, it's so true. And you
Yeah.
know what I just heard, Monica, was recently. in the news, they were reporting that in August
Hmm.
was the most reported people leaving the corporate world
Wow.
ever recorded.
Yeah.
So
And those
just
people are just finding out that they don't know what they don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a faster way to get success
Hmm.
and figure it out. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to struggle.
Yeah. Let's see. You put that in. Ooh. It's so amazing to have two screens, and it's confusing when when I'm multitasking. Uh, let's see if I can put this in the comments. Yes.
Yay.
So the link is out there. You can just click the link. And Angela says, especially hard when we, yeah, had it all together in the corporate world.
Oh, it's so true. And you don't realize how much support you actually have in the corporate world. Like there's a team there for you and people that you can say, I don't know how this is going. But the other thing that's really interesting in the corporate world is that's different than when you're an entrepreneur is when you're in the corporate world, everything must be perfect.
Hmm.
Everything must be perfect before you go out there. And I took that to heart when I became an entrepreneur. So it
Hmm.
really stalls you from starting.
Yeah.
Like you're so afraid that if you don't have everything completely buttoned down, if
Mhm.
somebody were to see something that might be an error or maybe this doesn't quite work out, the word like the thought of iterating or,
Yeah.
changing things after you do something was like, oh, that's so unheard of in the corporate world. But now, this is how you learn, this is how you build a business.
Yeah. And you have to do it all the time, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. You have to test things, you have to try things, you have to, get courageous.
Yeah.
I must say that being an entrepreneur, you have to really be courageous and don't be afraid to try things that you've never done before. Like, look at us, Monica.
Mhm.
Here we are. It's like, you know, being on screen, being on video. Do you think that this was ever something I thought I'd be doing? No.
No.
And it
Okay.
took me a while.
Want to hear a funny story? First time I made ever, like the first time I made a YouTube video ever, I was like looking at my husband, can you do this with me? And
I know, because you feel so strange talking to yourself.
I had him sitting next to me, and like we were both on screen, and I never, like, it never went public. It was just like I have to do this once, holding someone's hand as I do it, and it's kind of a good analogy for what you are doing with the challenge, right?
That's right. That's right.
You're holding you're holding their hand for 5 days,
Yes.
getting the idea like to
Yes.
crystallize.
Exactly. And to think about things that you just take for granted and like there's so many things that you probably are really good at that you can bring into your idea or create an idea from that is going to help you make money. There are people out there that are looking for your skills
Mhm.
and looking for your knowledge, and they would love for you to help them. But you don't even realize how valuable it is.
No, we totally undervalue ourselves.
Hmm.
And the big
Completely.
mistake, because it's easy for me, it's easy for everyone else. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's like the stuff that is easy for me is what is hard for everyone else, right?
Yeah. I always say it's that thing like that you say to yourself, oh, that little thing, you know,
Yeah,
everybody knows how to do that. I
yeah,
used to think that when I started my business as in brand strategy, I just assumed everybody, knew this. Like, who needs this?
mm,
Or, you just take it for granted that the skills and expertise. I was able to actually build my business once I opened up to the people and listened to them. And I had a woman come to me who was a small business owner, and she said to me, "Could you please help me out? I'm trying to get my business started and brand it." And I said, "Oh, sure, sure, sure." And we worked together and I it wasn't until after we were working together that I could realize how much value I added to this, and how it helped her with her success. Like,
Yeah.
she launched and then she started three other locations
Mm.
because I was able to help her. But she'd been struggling with large agencies for so long, who were, they just didn't have the time for her.
Yeah. So, and you see, like Angela says, that held me back for so long.
Yes, Angela.
Yes.
Yes.
And so, if you're thinking about starting a business, or if you're in the process of starting, or you have started already, and you feel like clarity on idea and type of business would be ideal for me right now, then sign up for the Kickstarter, right?
Yes. So come and join me. We started today. It's 5 days. You're not too late. Jump in, and I'd love to have you there, and I'd love to support you, and come join the community. It's going to be so much fun, and we have daily prizes every day. So lots of fun stuff going on.
Yeah. So, clarity by Friday.
Yes. Clarity
That
by
sounds,
Friday.
yeah, that sounds brilliant. Okay, Kim, thank you for creating the challenge.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on my live stream and sharing this.
Thank you,
And
Monica, for
yeah,
having me. I really appreciate it.
and we'll talk. Talk to you soon,
Okay.
Kim. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Woo.